Alright, so I thought I'd do a quick video. What I'm looking at on the top is the 5,000 tick time frame of the YM futures, the Dow futures. In the middle, I have the lower time frame, which I'm using 1,000 tick. And beneath that, I'm using a point figure chart, 12 by 1, with volume. This is an interesting chart that Wyckoff had first conceived of. He called it the tape reading chart. So I'm experimenting with it. It might go through. There's actually a course on this that includes studies on this type of chart in the second division of the Wyckoff course. I think it's called the active trading course. So I start off with the higher time frame. It tells us that basically the market is in a range. You really have no more information other than, there was a breakout from this point. So you have this point right here. And then there was some moves, like over here. You had a move, you had some accumulation in here. See that? I think it's better if I use a square with a little minor spring. Oh boy. So you had basically the market pulled back and held this level, did a spring, inside wave, breakout, and you had a little move up. Now this is a higher time frame. On a lower time frame, it's a significant move. After that, you basically went back to test the same resistance area. It tested the high bar of the resistance area. The high bars are here and here, and pulled back, started correcting again, formed a little range here, and popped out, and there was a move to be had. So these are small moves, but they're on a higher time frame. So on a lower time frame, you can get plenty of ticks. After that, this is a little interesting because you have this high, you have a lower high, you have a lower high, and then you had a lower high, which tested again the high bar. Selling came in, retested, and continued to this area. This area is going to be an interesting area. Alright, because now we're going back to that support area from which we bounced, from which price bounced. The volume, I don't really see any clues here yet, but we'll see how much volume comes in. Other than that, just keep watching the higher time frame. So the higher time frame is just showing us, a minor downtrend just from here to here, and coming to a support level. So this will be interesting how it reacts here, whether they create a little mini base, something like that. So now let's take a look at the 1,000 tick. 1,000 tick isn't really telling me much, other than confirming that we are in a downtrend. You have selling from here, selling the highs, selling more. Nice little test, false move to test. This was like a counter trend or a counter rally. Boom, boom, continues to go. So some consolidation here, and then continuation down. There is a shortening of the thrust. It starts moving sideways. Volume is increasing, but this is towards the end of the day, so there just may be some short covering. I don't really see anything in the. I don't really see anything here. other than we're still in a downtrend. But I would like to see, anytime it starts moving sideways like that, I start paying attention, because it could be some type of accumulation, reaccumulation, distribution, or redistribution. Like over here, this was very interesting. Like when price came up in this area, there was distribution here. Then it broke, then it tested, then it continued down. So this was a distribution area, and these were your sign of weaknesses, these heavy volume. Where is it? So this really was the heavy volume. Then there was a shortening of the thrust, which set up the counter trend or counter rally test into the ICE area. Continued lower, moved sideways. The selling pressure is still there. This area right here, this low volume area, this is like appealing. We'll see how this develops, because you have selling, then the pressure kind of resides, and now there's buying. So I think this is going to be an interesting area. We'll see how this plays out, but I bet it's going to be pretty damn interesting. I'm going to add volume to this next time, the actual prints. And the bottom chart was the best chart of all. You had basically price coming into this area, and you had high volume in this area. Then you had the breakdown, and that high volume breakdown basically was the signal to go short on the retest. So we had this beautiful retest, in this area right here. It's really nice. This was a test, and price went down. And what I really like about this is, like, the cause effect target, the cause was 9, and I did the count, and surprisingly went exactly to 9 blocks lower, boxes lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now we see pressure. See this volume coming in? So there is volume coming in here. We'll see how, if this is a significant base that's setting up, or if it's just setting up for redistribution. There is high volume here, and it is the highest in quite some time. So that is interesting to me. That indication is interesting. I would like to see some more sideways movement, and then basically the same thing, the high volume breakout. Then you can just buy the pullback. Let's move on to the Weiss wave, not the Weiss wave, the Wyckoff wave and the Dow. There were some indications here that the market would break. Let me see. 1 second. Paste. Copy. Paste. Copy. Paste. Alright, so where was I? So this I think was the key indication. See that? While this was making a lower high, while this was here, the Wyckoff wave broke down. See that? I think that was very important to note, that while this was continuing up, making a lower high, the Wyckoff wave was making a lower low with significant selling pressure. Look at that. So after that, the YM joined in, and let's see, while this is making higher lows, this was making lower lows. While the Wyckoff wave is making higher lows, this was making lower lows. So Wyckoff wave was leading, and then eventually this the YM also started. The top is the Wyckoff wave, the bottom is the YM. The YM also started following suit. As you can see, higher low, lower low deviation, then it started moving up, and bingo, you have this moving up. So in some cases, I mean, that doesn't work all the time, but Wyckoff wave is pretty good indication of, like over here, this does this, and this does this, and then eventually it follows suit. So you have to kind of wait for it to follow suit. Like this was the change of behavior, I believe. That right there, the 60, is the highest up volume, and you see this here too. So we'll see what happens, but as far as I'm concerned, like, if the wave starts turning down again, there's going to be a problem. Like right now, I'm seeing the wave turning down a bit, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. And that's all, folks.